あなたの第二の故郷ラジオノスタルジア from Mars.
Thank you, Mania, for sharing both your thoughts and your favorite sounds with us. That MTA recording actually got me digging into my proverbial record crate because it reminded me of this old track from my DJing days back on Earth called Tokyo 320, a minimal tech house homage to life in the commute and traveling while standing still. Wonderful stuff. Not so wonderful, though, is a spate of ecoplastic stockpiling occurring in sectors 7 through 12 after rumors of a pending shortage. Guys, ecoplastic items are freely dispensed at conveniently located kiosks around Tesla City, so there's simply no need to hoard any ecoplastic items. In fact, hoarding them deprives the 3D printers of the recyclable material they need to make them freely available. So your stockpiling is kind of defeating the point of renewable resources. There's a 14-sol grace period to return all parts not in use. No questions asked. Besides, however much you hold on, there's just one thing you can't stockpile.
Twój dom daleko od domu. Radio Nostalgia z Marsa.
Stockpiled on water, stockpiled on soap, stockpiled on blankets, stockpiled on coal, stockpiled on rice, stockpiled on apples, stockpiled on beans, stockpiled on sardines, stockpiled on wine, stockpiled on rum, but I cannot stockpile on love, stockpile on love, stockpile on love, stockpile on love, stockpiled on books, stockpiled on gas, stockpiled on toilet paper, stockpiled on maize, stockpiled on butter, stockpiled on toast, stockpiled on silver, stockpiled on gold, stockpiled on bourbon, stockpiled on scotch, but I cannot stockpile on love, 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 stockpile on love.
Katerina Payak there, reminding us that all the good things in the world are no substitute for love. So, if you've recently matched with someone via our repopulation program and you've received a date for your first meetup, don't forget to add it to your mandatory diary. There does seem to be some confusion about scheduling based on the new double month standard, but it's really quite simple, guys. There are now 24 months in our year, and there are 2 of each month, January 1 and January 2, February 1 and February 2, and so on. Each month is now 28 sols long, except for every 6th month, which is 27 sols long. I hope that clears up the situation. Any further queries, in writing please, can be submitted directly to the Mars Coalition for the simplification of the Martian calendar. So, from trains and city soundscapes to rhythms born out of hands and feet, water and drums, we continue our journey into the past, into our collective memories of Earth, a celebration of sound as music, music as sound, and voices that carry us into the stars. In that vein, a friendly reminder that silence is deadly. If you hear nothing, please report it. General machine noise means we are being kept alive. Speaking of keeping us alive, 2 equals 1. duplicates are not spares, people. Everything on Mars is duplicated for security, so please do not cannibalize existing tech. If something breaks, head directly to the spares and parts department in Sector 5 to submit your report and apply for official replacements.
ferme. Radio nostalgie.
It's time for our last caller, a senior geologist at Tesla University, who gives us a slightly different perspective on ecology from his research lab at the South Pole.
思い出エピソードあの頃の記憶古き良き時代の話希望きらめき出来事ラジオノスタルジア from Mars.
As a geologist, it always annoyed me that the color of Earth conservation was green. Seen from space, the majority of the Earth's surface is blue, with the remaining 29% for land. And of that land, deserts make up 1/3 of the land surface area, sweeping burns of ochre, rust and gold. Green! Give me a break. Anyway, as a lifelong acolyte of sun and sand, I'm not up here pining for jungles and wetlands. I yearn for week-long expeditions into the desert, traversing dunes big enough to swallow entire towns in one sideways drift. Oh, to feel that oven-hot wind dry as a bone on my face. There's more dust in my veins than water, I can tell you that much. It astonishes me that people up here are oblivious to the fact that it's our understanding of living in deserts that makes life up here on Mars even possible. The early days of Mars habitation experiments took place in the Gobi Desert and in Hawaii on the side of a barren volcano, not in a protected marshland in the Okavango, you get me? What did the last trees of the Black Forest give us except fuel for our final fires? The desert saved us. Oh, I mean, the irony is not lost on me, but no Sahara, no Amazon, no Gobi, no Mars. Where do you think the Amazon basin was getting all its fertile sand from? Flown over from Africa, that's where. How do we know how to recycle water to near 99% efficiency? The Gobi Desert. There was always so much focus on saving the planet, saving the whales, saving bees, saving the trees. The deserts, am I right? Make them green. I knew it was over when those idiots deliberately tried to flood parts of the Sahara with one species of tree. I mean, come on. A publicity stunt by a French paper manufacturer with deeper pockets. And no one blinked an eye. It was meant to help, but the Sahara Tree Project literally poured salt into the wound. It started out well enough, but some unknown fungus wiped them all out, but not before they had sucked all the fertile phosphorus out of the sand blowing over the Atlantic, effectively salting the Amazon basin like an Italian grandmother making tomato sauce. And then there was no turning back. Deserts are why we exist at all, you know. Now as much as then, so history repeats itself. To paraphrase geologist William Grayboe, the ancestors of modern man did not leave the trees left them. So, are we then the neo-great apes leaving the proverbial trees, the stars our new savannah? From that perspective, we didn't leave Earth so much as Earth left us. The desert was always one step ahead, and in a way, we started living on Mars before we even left.
Ah yes, not all of us up here pine for the fjords. Put me in the desert camp for sure. That searing blue sky and endless horizon. I'm still not used to how close the horizon here is on Mars, and the strange sky still throws me off when I see it, and apparently I'm not the only one. The Recreation and Relaxation Department has asked me to remind those complaining about the red color filter on the windows of the panorama observation deck that the sky on Mars is not blue, but salmon pink. So please bear that in mind when submitting your request to visit the outer domes. And also bear in mind that the waiting list is now double months long, so book early for the experience. You're typing to Radio Nostalgia from Mars. Let's take a trip to the deserts. That brings us towards the end of this particular show. I hope you've enjoyed our rather geological excursion into the past. From music to stories and memories, Radio Nostalgia from Mars has it all. If you want to be involved with RNFM, have a story to tell, a memory to share, contact us via the usual intranet channels and leave a short message outlining your contribution. A big thank you to our show sponsor, OMAS, the No Stress, No Fuss drink for the Ultra Elite. And a big thank you to corporate for allocating us this precious time and resources on this tight beam to you. I hope you've enjoyed the show. It's been an absolute pleasure to share this time with you. We're playing out now with some uplifting melodic techno to remind us to always look onwards and upwards. We may have traded blue skies for pink, but don't forget, we still live and love under the same sun.
This transmission will repeat. Due to limited bandwidth, this transmission will repeat in 30 seconds. Due to limited bandwidth, this transmission will repeat in 20 seconds. In 15 seconds. In 10 seconds. In 5 seconds. In 1 second.
Radio Nostalgia from Mars.
Hello all you Martians out there. It's your turn, fix for the soul. Give it that old world flavor. You're tuned to Radio Nostalgia from Mars. Breathe easy, kick back, and reminisce.
Take my hand, explain. Surprise, all I need.
Instead we shouldn't be sad when we think of the wrong way. Take my hand, don't let go. I know we won't get lost. Oh no, wait, take my hand, don't let go. The signs are fake and the maps are false, but we must go. Whisper directions through our keys as we drift through this metropolis. Take your earphones off, listen to me, and allow through this cacophony. Talk if they want to say. Why would anyone know the way? Take my hand, don't let go. I know we won't get lost. Oh no, wait. Take my hand, don't let go. The signs are fake and the maps are false, but we must go. Take my hand, stay. GPS, no Google Maps. They can find collecting traps. Is that we shouldn't be sad when we think of the road ahead.
What a way to start the show. And at your general take my hand, also go and take my favorite project. It's called Humanity. Beautiful. 1991 to Soul Show, a show packed with stories and music to remind ourselves of where we are and how far we've come. Our first caller for the show calls it like it is, and was a hard-hitting look back at Last Days on Earth from the perspective of a shrewd businessman and loving father.
Stories, memories, the good old days. Original sources, authentic tales, hope, inspiration, drama. Radio Nostalgia for Mars.
I worked in oil, brokering gasoline to be exact. It's a strange business, probably not like you would actually imagine it to be. My day started something like this. I check Reuters and my sheets. See if there's been a change in the fundamentals. See if the spread's up or down. And then when the clock strikes go, I'm on the phone. I could be calling some commercial shop in Bumble, Kansas, where little old Sue loves to know how my daughter's doing. Or I could be trying to get into the head of a powerful Russian who knows the world wants his phone number. That's when the psychology kicks in, and I go to work. If they pick up the phone, they're mine. That's the game. I started when I was 29, 30. My boss was a coked-up, perma-tanned moron who was wasted by lunch. More money than sense. Screaming at waiters because, you don't drink gin out of a glass like that. And Caesar salad is supposed to have 8 pieces. 8 pieces of chicken, you stunted fool. Stunted fool was his favorite insult. It's coming from a guy who was 5 foot nothing. That was pretty much my life. 24/7. I traveled a lot. Meeting clients all over the world. The Amazon, the Gulf, Siberia, Central Asia, the States, Singapore, everywhere. Looking back, I can't claim that I ever would recommend that life, nor can I claim that I was ever really happy doing it. But it was fun. I mean, talk about your share of moments. There was this one girl, some strange mix of Algiers and Paris, with some sprinkle of Havana, a dancer, naturally. So pretty. She'd turn a priest's head or give a nun a... Sometimes I wonder what happened to her. But we all had the same feeling. This can't last. And sure enough, we were right. First, you couldn't drink the water. Then you couldn't eat the crops. And pretty soon, we wouldn't be able to breathe them in air. I remember looking at Emmy and wondering what kind of a future would she have. So I decided to do something about it. The Mars project was Plan B for planet Earth, which was most evidently... The family and I had already put down roots in Tesla City by the time the great catastrophe really hit. The corporation knew my contacts in the world of drilling and refining would be useful, so I adapted my something more practical. Now we are all that keeps this little planet running. Mining those Martian chemicals for the battery banks, Martian cement for the buildings. My pure little Emma has a future. When somebody sits down and writes this all up for the history books, it might just be men like me they'll be hailing as heroes. It's men like me who saved humanity. Men like me who took us further than we ever dreamt possible.
Radio nostalgia from Mars.
Some pretty heavy stuff. Reminds us that all kinds made it up here to Mars, but we're all in it together now. And remain creatures of the world. You're a tight beam to Radio Nostalgia from Mars. Music for the lost days of Earth.
colors twist, the children sing, pulling back the paint white sheets. The city wolves show their sharp steel teeth. Hello, creatures of the world. Hello, creatures of the world. Hello, creatures of the world. Every morning now, reach up to what was the sky. I whisper a poem or two, but they seem quite lost on you. The smell of sweat and blood from stone. The news is lost, the children gone. Enter the rat race, step out of home. Embrace our new cold, skyless dome. Hello, creatures of the world. Hello, creatures of the world. Hello, creatures of the world.
Your home away from home. Radio nostalgia from Mars.
Creatures of the world. Now that's attracted takes us back. Stefan Milenkovic, pining for blue skies, fast musing on the games we play. Just a reminder that until further notice, there is a moratorium on all team leaders playing card and board games with their teams, following an incident over a game of Monopoly in Section C. All senior section team leaders will convene for emergency counseling and anger management courses. Until then, there'll be no intersectional board game tournaments and no games with groups larger than 4 people at a time per team. In the interim, teams are encouraged to take advantage of the half-ration special on Omas, the delicious and relaxing drink that takes the edge off of everything. Our next caller, Yamil, takes us into her world of food, smells, sensuality, blue skies, and sings us a personal song to remember.
Histoire, mémoire, le bon vieux temps, source originale, fable authentique, espoir, inspiration, drame, musique, radio nostalgie de Mars.
I have nightmares. I'm happy to be alive, but I knew many who deserved to live more than I did. But this is a radio program about nostalgia, not guilt. I've been nostalgic since I was 20, when I left Havana. In Europe, I felt different. Each country has a smell. Mars doesn't. Where I come from, the smell of the ocean, mango, bananas, coconut, mama's food, ropa vieja, de la abuelita, el con gris, la yuca con mojito, the most beautiful sun of Malecon, the smell of my street when the rain falls, all of that make me into the person I am. So when I left, I grew stronger. I experienced the world, but forever stayed incomplete. So now I'm double nostalgic. We were full of life, laughing on warm nights under blue sky, touching each other. The air filled with the smell of sweat from dancing with a orchestra playing from an apartment. Now, the only way I can feel this scent is by singing. ¿Cómo fue? No sé decirte cómo fue. No sé explicarme qué pasó, pero de ti me enamoré. Fue una luz que iluminó todo mi ser. Tu risa como manantial llenó mi vida de inquietud. Fueron tus ojos o tu boca, fueron tus manos o tu voz. Fue a lo mejor la impaciencia de tanto esperar.
You're home away from home. Radio nostalgia from Mars.
Now, as much as we appreciate our regular callers, there is one person we would really love to hear from. A man many of us owe our lives to. Our national hero, the Mars mission pilot who brought us here safely so many years ago. Believe it or not, he finally made it back to Earth. After all these years, his dream finally came true. As we all know, he's had a very difficult time adapting to life here on Mars. We all have, just not in the public eye like him. So Charlie, this is Radio Nostalgia from Mars, personally reaching out to you. Charlie, we'd really appreciate it if you took some time to share a bit of the atmosphere from Earth with us. I'm sure many of our listeners are eager to hear your thoughts on being back. Just speak into the mic in your helmet. A few recorded words. Anything.
Well, it's worth a shot. I know he's the biggest fan of Radio Nostalgia from Mars, and he's probably listening now from a rooftop somewhere in Alphaville. So stay tuned to see if he responds. But to be honest, I don't think we'll be hearing from him anytime soon, sadly. Oh well, who can blame him? Let's not spoil his moment any longer. Continue our own trip down memory lane.
No sé decirte cómo fue, qué pasó, pero de ti.
Слушайте Nostalgia.
Living in space has always been challenging, and here's a song that pokes
Alô, alô. Putz, eu tenho que lembrar de checar sempre o meu microfone, cara. Ele desconectou aqui na parada. É brincadeira. Alô. Agora acho que vai. Putz, fiquei falando aqui pras paredes, bicho, ó. Parado. Eu acho que o som do jogo tava pegando, né? Eu acho que só não tava pegando a minha voz. Um tostão da minha voz. Oh, agora é só ali. Tem alguma coisa aqui. Keep out. Ô, louco, será que eu vou ter que ir pra lá? Pra lá? Oh, ah, cara, ó. Que física maravilhosa. Aqui. Ah! Parou. Ok. Caramba, que eu vou ter que subir pra ir ali. Não deve ter algum jeito mais fácil. Será se? Eu acho que não vai, né? Será? Acho que não vai, né? Deixa eu ver até onde que vai. É, não vai. Bom, eu vou fazer... Eu acho que talvez... Olha lá, que cagada. Cara, Nossa, na cagada eu acertei aqui, ó. Ai, que cagada, bicho. Eu acertei, eu joguei pra lá, acertei aqui. Bora, nunca que eu ia... Essa foi na... Nossa, bicho.
Muzika i starih dobrih dana. Radio nostalgia samaz.
Caramba, cara. Essa foi muita cagada. Sem querer, mas deu certo. Tá, diário. Deste ponto de vista, através do nevoeiro leitoso, as ruínas parecem os restos de um experimento. A pintura caminhante sobre o mar de névoa incorpora o sublime de romantismo. A imagem de hoje, um astronauta com traje hazmat caminhando sobre as paisagens radioativas com sinais de neon quebrados. Tá. Nostalgia. Torre de Babel. Ele foi o piloto da missão de Marte durante a grande catástrofe. E a quantidade de carrinho no mercado. Ixi, agora a portinha fica de sessão aqui com a gente. Tá. Deixa eu ver o que que tem aqui. O que que tem aqui? Pode... Cara, olha a distância, tá? Jogar ali na cadeirinha de roda. É, cadeira de roda. Como é que é o nome daquilo? Cadeira de... Como é que é? Cara, rolante. Porra. Ó, mas ou eu posso jogar a bolinha aqui, ó. Que provavelmente ela vai dar um tiro lá pra frente. Esse corvo aqui no carvo. Tá. Acho que eu vou tentar ir lá por cima, hein? Só que pra ir lá por cima... será que aqui ele vai? Bom, vamos fazer um teste. Primeiro ver como é que... Tá. Vou jogar aqui a escada rolante. Será que essa plaquinha me atrapalha ou não? Não, muito bem. Pode ir, sem pressa. Pressa não. Ó. Se eu jogar lá em cima, e se for lá em cima... Ó, porque aqui não tem onde jogar, né? Tem que jogar aqui. É uma também, hein? Eu acho que eu economizo nas tacadas aqui, será que não? Ó, por exemplo. Ih. Ô, vagabundo. Nossa, não me liguei na porta.
Just as precious as a new life is the water that sustains
Ah!
it. You may have noticed that it doesn't rain here on Mars. So another friendly reminder that showers are strictly limited to 30 seconds each, with no exceptions.
Aí aqui.
He's looking into extending the
Jogo pra cima.
but he's meeting resistance from
Ah, miséria. Ih, não vai dar pra jogar ali, cara.
water recycling program.
Tá muito embaçado pra jogar ali.
Reduce
É, ó.
elevator shower times to 20 seconds.
Deixa quieto.
Want to say in this? Join our
Eu
section
vou deixar aqui.
vote while sipping on a relaxing
Tá.
chip of OMAS.
Aí eu vou ter que ir lá pra cima mesmo.
As it should. Radio nostalgia.
Ah, não acredito, bicho. Que bateu na placa, vagabundo. Deixa eu tentar mais uma vez aqui. Mr. Simon. Tá. Aí eu tento jogar pra lá, ó. Ah, vagabundo. É, aqui não vai dar certo. Vou jogar pra cá mesmo. Pra ela voltar. Aqui eu não me liguei na placa. Ah. Tem que jogar por cima da plaquita. Então aqui. Foi. Aí. Porta, foi. Eu já tô na 14ª tacada, não vai rolar, né? Aí. Aí aqui só um milagre, né? De eu fazer uma tabelinha e ela cair pra lá. Tipo, dar uma pancada aqui, ó. Quase. E agora eu jogo pra cá. Ah, meu Deus do céu, né, cara? A má vontade. Era. Aí. Vou ter feito assim aquela hora. Mas foi minha última atacada. Mas agora, de primeira é difícil, né? Então tá. Será que eu já tento fazer um migué aqui, ó? Não sei se... Ah, não. Não adianta muita coisa, não. Porque não tem da onde passar aqui, né? É. Mas, em todo caso, foi. 2 tacadas já foi ali, né? Ó, então aqui lembremos da placa. Ah, pilontra. Eu vou tentar fazer uma maior vigarice aqui, hein? Ah, caraca. Agora mais a mirinha. Ó, se eu mirar bem aqui assim... Au, amigo. Foi. Aí. Opa, aqui tem um campinho de futebol. Lembro se tinha alguma coisa referente a isso nas conquistas ali. Atinge o par, eu sou demais. Prática da sorte assim nunca mais. Sorte assim nunca mais poderia ser o do... A vaca não achou engraçado, não alimenta os animais. Força ainda no lucro. Temos que vender tudo. Temos que vender tudo, aproveite essa barganha. Seguindo as batidas. É. Não sei.
Life passes quickly indeed.
Foi.
Another blast from the past, reminding us to savor each moment as it flies by.
Ó, aqui.
Savoring things, the health and
E eu teria que dar uma pancada ali. Ah, mas... Meu Deus, né? Galera. Deixa eu jogar só um pouco mais pra frente ali. Isso. Então já fica um pouco melhor. Ai, cara, o cara não tem... Ele não tem pressa nenhuma, né? O cara tá jogando golfe, sossegado.
As it was discovered The original dose is also
Vai. Meu Deus, cara.
right.
Aqui eu vou ter que dar uma pancada.
Music and dancing will always
Aí.
be a mainstay of stress relief and letting go.
Aí aqui, será que eu faço um golzinho ali só pra...
So teenage clubbing days with vivid memories of awkward first kisses and a life-altering club experience invoking a philosophical epiphany.
Stories.
Ó,
The good old days.
aqui eu acho que se eu acertar
Radio nostalgia.
na máquina, capaz de...
So, when I was a kid,
Ó, eu vou fazer um teste.
in high school we used to learn all the German poets, like Best Friends, Goethe and Schiller.
Ah, mano, meu Deus, cara, que falta de vontade, né? Aí já é falta de vontade. Eu vou ter que dar uma ajeitada aqui, peraí.
Couple of Heine's poems by heart,
Fazer um
buried somewhere deep.
Somebody Love aqui, ó.
But one passage about burning books stuck with me. Yes,
Oi.
even till today.
Ah, meu Deus, cara!
Just to fast forward to college, just a couple of years before the great catastrophe.
Pimba.
I was walking around Berlin
Ô, louco!
friends coming from a house party.
Bom,
Boy, I still remember that apartment smelling
tomar uma água depois dessa. Enquanto o cara leva 2 anos pra chegar ali.
made hummus and drank schnapps before heading out. Yeah.
2 tacadas, hein?
And
Acho que uma eu posso
remember passing by a
tacar-lhe a ripa aqui.
very, very hot night. And next to me was a guy
Que isso?
we kissed before, but I can't say I
Será que eu...
really remember
Ah, não.
all the drinking or
Putz, grila! Ah,
but I can still feel
calma aí.
this
Já volto aí.
sweaty and
Vou ao banheiro.
very
Só um pouco.
ambivalent feeling.
Bora. É agora, hein?
2 years later, I ended up here, on Mars.
Ah! Portinha pilantra, né?
Memories of university days and sweaty club.
Ela faz, tem uma hora que ela vai, ela fecha, ó.
At its finest.
Ela fecha, ela abre e fecha.
For the record, corporate does not endorse
Ó, aqui lazarenta!
psychedelic drugs and reminds you, dear listeners, that Class A drugs are just as illegal here.
Já sei, já sei agora. Fechou? Abriu.
Disclaimer out of the way.
Abre, lazarento, ó.
Prize for Minerva. We tracked down that weird
Calma, deixa eu reiniciar isso aqui.
dug it out of the
E
archive.
não valeu essa.
Grab a tube of OMAS.
Ó, 23h35.
Sipping on pure
Vou fazer mais ou menos uma... Agora tá quanto tempo deu? Ó, já deu 1 hora de live, mas eu vou fazer mais uns 10, 15 minutinhos. Mas aí... Na próxima livezinha a gente termina. Ou não. Ó, deixa eu ver. Ó, abriu ou fechou? Ê, vazarem. Ó. Pum, tipate, pum. Ah, quase que eu faço cagada ali de acertar na placa. Pum, 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 pum. Pam, 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 pam. Ó. Aí. Aqui é o seguinte. Eu tenho que jogar mais ou menos aqui assim. Ah, vagabundo. Porra. Ai, miséria. Padrãozinho de porta. Abriu, fechou. Ah! Chilango. Ai, ai, que lazarento. Calma lá, calma lá. O bagulho tá me tirando, tá me tirando. Ai, cara, eu tô... Ah, não, vamos reiniciar isso aqui, cara. E começou muito zoado. Uns que a gente quebre o shopping inteiro, né? Esperar ela abrir e fechar. Ó, viu? Ah! Não acredito, velho. Oh! Potência. Caraca. Não, a portinha tá me tirando, velho. Não pode. Não pode ter ficado. Mas vamos começar de novo, cara. Vamos começar de novo. É pra encerrar mesmo, né? Esperar ela abrir e fechar. Tem uma hora que ela abre e fecha. Ó. Não acredito. Ai, cara, o que tá acontecendo? Eu esqueci agora como é que faz pra jogar nessa parte. Olha, cara. Pode, né? Não pode. Ah, eu soltei antes. Cara, não, para. Tá muita... Vamos começar de novo, hein? Quer ver ele? Ai, cara, eu tô apertando antes. Eu tô... Agora eu fiquei tão... Aí, ó. Oxi. Ora, será que... Ah, não. Acho que não. Ah, não. Não adianta jogar pra cá, né? Aí aqui... Caramba, bicho. Da portinha aí. Parece que eu perdi o jeito de... Negócio aqui pra cá. Que doido, né? A quantidade de carrinho. Tá certo que o mundo acabou, né? Mas do que rolou aqui pra ficar todos esses carrinhos amontoados? Tá. Vou jogar mais ou menos aqui. Aê. E lá vem as portinhas, olha. Agora que eu desaprendi. Ó, tem uma hora que ela abre e fecha, ó. Tchan, tchan. Fechou. Abriu, fechou. Abriu, fechou. Ui, ui, ui. Tá louco. Então aqui eu vou tentar dar uma pancada mais ou menos aqui. Aê! Urra! Prima! Ó, então vamos lá, hein? Uma ripada pra lá. E aqui, putz, se eu conseguisse já uma de primeira, né? Mas não vou arriscar porque... Porque se eu arriscar... Será que eu arrisco? Vai, só se vive uma vez. Eita! Porque aí... Porque tem esses lances das obras de arte aqui, ó. Se eu acho que se eu quebrar essas 4, eu acho que eu ganho mais uma conquistinha ali. Que faça alguma diferença. Vamos tentar fazer um lance assim, ó. Ah, mas, meu Deus, né? Ó, aqui. Meu Deus, cara. Meu Deus, cara. Ah, não. Aí tá tirando, né? Acho que se eu fizer mais ou menos aqui. Ah, não! Ó, mas ganhei a conquistinha, ó. Viu? Acho que eu vou tacar pra... Aqui, ó. Olha lá. Rapaz. Foi pra fechar, hein? Essa foi pra fechar. Hoje de Babel, eles não esperavam para que começar uma nova vida nas horrendas condições de Marte seria tão difícil. Estavam planejando a vida em Marte e nunca realmente tentaram salvar a vida na Terra. Líderes ilustres com a maturidade emocional e crianças de 12 anos. E aqui estou eu, a Terra se transformou em um monumento à estupidez. Caraca, bicho. Então é isso, essa foi pra fechar, hein? Essa foi bonita. Vamos só olhar qual que é a próxima fase e aí vou encerrar. Aí fechou-lhe o repolho. Atlas despedaçado. Mas ele odiava sua nova vida e ele estava sozinho no planeta vermelho.
My mother turned, smiled at me, but it was a mysterious.
Uma parada aqui. E popopó. Tá. Olha, cara, que massa, velho. Tem uns cenários muito massa. Ó. Eu tô querendo achar. Ó, pra fechar então, hein. Eu tô querendo achar que se eu fizer aqui, ali no outro e jogar no cano ali, ó. Eu acho que eu consigo dar uma adiantada em alguma coisa, hein. Agora sim. Para! Aí. Aí. Se. Será que vai? Olha lá. Vou tentar todas as minhas tacadas aqui, bicho. Foi. Um pouquinho mais fraco. Calma. Respira.
12 years later, the
Oi.
Mars mission.
Ah, cara, eu vou tentar tudo aqui. Ah, pra saideira mesmo.
Found me in Italy.
Então, aqui.
Saved me.
Um pouquinho mais forte.
It is ironic, no? My parents fought for freedom.
E eu jogar mais ou menos aqui. Ó, pela angulação. Poder da matemática aí.
For the population in...
Só que não. Bora.
On Mars. Often in
Lá, foi.
the night,
Ihu.
I hear my parents saying,
Aí. Olha lá, ó. Vai vendo? Pô, quer ver que eu consigo passar ainda? Aqui ou não? Não, atenção. Se eu jogar mais ou menos a... E foi. Lá. Ui. Pô, mas acho que eu consigo passar mais essa ainda. E aí deu, bicho. Daí eu preciso ir, que eu preciso terminar. Paranauê aí. Paranauês. Nossa, mano, meu Deus. Quer ver que eu vou... Pô, o que é isso aqui? Ah, não. Gente, por favor, né? Aí. Fechou? Novo registro, vamos só olhar aqui, daí já era. Atlas despedaçado de nenhuma criança deixada para trás, para toda a humanidade deixada para trás na Terra. Todos nós vivemos uma mentira e aceitei. Até que um dia a água ficou muito cara. Uma linha reta conecta ainda em nossa colônia de Marte. Ok. Radio Nostalgia. É isso. O Slay estava certo. O piloto ficou triste porque não salvou sua família. Pô, tô achando que ele é o... Turbo Folk. Balada. Mas isso eu não vou nem jogar. Vou dar uma olhada aqui, ver como é que... Ó, aqui eu abro a portinha, daí eu vou lá pra cima e ele joga ali. Só que... Ó a malandragem ali, ó. Porque aqui eu abro ali. Aí eu venho pra cá. Jogo na malandragem aqui, ó. Hyperloop. Eu acho que se eu jogar naquele caninho amarelo... Ah, ele cai lá em cima, ó. Também não é... Ah, entendi. Mas então tá bom. Vai ficar pra próxima. Fechou então? Valeu aí, obrigado por quem acompanhou até agora. E é nóis. Até uma próxima aí. Talvez... Deixa eu ver, hoje é quinta? Talvez sabadão, né? Sabadão, se eu for jogar, eu conecto de volta. Tô jogando Dragon's Dogma agora, hein? Da hora. Mas eu quero terminar esse daqui na sequência. Então é isso. Valeu, falou.